happy, really happy to be with you, with you, with you. Happy, really happy to be with you, with you,
Good morning! Yeah, good morning everybody. Welcome to the NFT Morning. Bienvenue au
Morning.
NFT Morning. GM. What's up, Rem? Ça va?
Ouais, super.
So, as you can
I'm
see today,
already in vacation.
always, yeah. Can you smell it?
I,
Yeah. Can you
I
smell it?
touched the grass today.
Yeah, touching grass, smell like holidays. It's time. Even in Web3, we need to take some break. So, it smells like almost the end of the NFT morning season. Uh, actually, I'm really, 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 really happy, today because we have a team. We will talk about gaming, and we will talk with a team who is, the team is based in France, but it's part of a more global gaming studio, and so yeah, it's gonna be a good mix. It's why we start to do it in English, because we have the chance, to have Matt Sully with us, who's basically, yeah. How are you, Matt?
GM
Oh.
guys, nice to be here, John. Nice to be here, Rem.
Yeah. So are you like a part of the initial team of Motorverse?
So I'm part of the furniture. I joined Animoca Brands back in 2020. So I've been here for a minute.
2020. Wow, no way. So 2020 is like
I think we've lost John.
John, you're frozen.
wow.
Holy.
You're back.
It's okay. Yeah, you're back.
Sorry, it's me. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah. This is as you can see, I'm in the south of France, and sometimes I don't have exactly the same conditions, but okay, we'll make some edit. But so yeah, so 2020 is like, yeah, before history for like it's like yeah, BC, before NFTs. Wow. And so you started with Animoca because, yeah, Motorverse is a part of is an Animoca brand company, right?
Exactly, yeah. So the Motorverse is the ecosystem of all things motoring. So whether that's, 4 wheels, 8 wheels, 20 wheels, we don't discriminate. You should be able to find your home in the Motorverse. And what it is, it's this ecosystem of games, of IRL events, and a number of different things. We have a PFP, we have, the Rev token that powers the whole ecosystem as well. So it's really this everything that has to do with sort of motorsports, vehicle culture under Animoca Brands, all has a home within the Motorverse.
Okay, so basically, if I have a motor games or a bike, or like whatever, I could be part of the Motorverse. And
Exactly.
you are making the connection with, basically, kind of between all the sport game within the whole Animocaverse world, right?
Exactly. We have, as you're gonna hear from in a minute, we have incredible game studios. We have 3 game studios that are part of the Motorverse. And with those 3 studios, there's I think 11 or 12 live games at the moment across mobile, PC, console. So yeah, super excited to be having our, one of our studios here today as well.
So you mentioned, that Motorverse, so part of Animoca brand, uh, is like an umbrella for 3 studios, right? These 3 studios are between Europe and Asia, if I'm not wrong, or all of them are in Europe.
There's one in Europe, one in the US, and one in Australia. So
Okay,
they're all over the place.
covering the world. And so, yeah, one of these studio has been a recent acquisition, if I'm not wrong, and this studio is Eden Games, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they're, studio based in Lyon. They're very, very experienced, going back to the early 2000s where they built, Test Drive Unlimited, which is one of the first, open world driving games, if you will. And then went on to build some incredible things, having worked with Formula One, with EA, with, having their own kart games. And they currently have a game on the Apple Arcade, which is Gear Club Stradale. And if you guys watch any of the Apple demonstrations, you'll always see Gear Club Stradale featured, or one of the Gear Club games featured in. I think they even featured in the Apple Vision Pro demonstration. So
Wow.
really,
So it's
really cool
really like
studio.
Apple loved this game basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And so, maybe it's time to introduce, people, from the Eden Games team,
Let's
because
do it.
they will talk especially about this game called Cosmic Royale. So we have the chance to have Courtney with us. Yes. Hi, Courtney. And we have also Ben. Ben, who is part of the team also. How are you, Courtney? Are you on mute? But you
Mute.
That works better. I'm great. I'm soaking up the sun rays and enjoying life.
that's perfect. And you are like part of the. What is your role basically at the Eden Game Studio?
I'm a content creator for Eden, kind of a bit like Matt, sort of an ambassador, person to talk to when people want to say, "Hey, Em." So I'm in the person that you always see on all the videos, basically. The person
Okay.
you talk to.
You are that. And so Ben, you are like basically game designer, right?
Yeah. I'm the lead game designer on the game since the beginning, and I have the chance to work with the whole team at Eden Games, and I'm very thrilled to be able to present it to you this morning.
Okay, this is awesome. Thank you for this. So, maybe we can start directly, talking about this Cosmic Royale game. So you say that Eden Games, has been when just to have a big picture, when the Eden Games company has been created, more or less.
It was in 1998, if I remember correctly. Part of what at the time was the great Infogrames, which became Atari. And very soon, Eden Games specialized in racing games, with before even Test Drive Unlimited, the Verily franchise on the PlayStation at the time, which was really successful and was the kind of the Sega Rally for the PlayStation back in the days.
Wow. Okay.
They
And
love
so
this game.
maybe we can talk a bit more about Cosmic Royale. Maybe Courtney, you can explain
Yeah.
what it is about.
So Cosmic Royale is our newest game that we have just released in a beta for Mocha ID holders only. So it's kind of open to everyone, but not everyone. It is a battle royale style karting platformer kind of game. If you think of Fall Guys, if you know Fall Guys, you put that with karts. And so you've got 40 people running around on maps trying to get from point A to point B within a limited number of qualified people. And there are a couple of rounds, and if you make it all the way to the final, then there's a sort of last man standing kind of map where you have to try and last as long as you can to win and to get the points.
Okay, and so the beta, like you had a private beta, if I'm not wrong, and yesterday, so on July 25th, you opened the beta publicly, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, so we had an early access to select people for a week before, just to test everything out, and now we are finally open to anyone who has a mock ID. So this is available to, if you have a mock ID, whatever it is, you are able to join the game. If you don't have one, we suggest you get one so you can come and join us and play along. And this will be open for 4 or 5 weeks, 4 weeks I think left. And so it's just a limited time, but so it's still a beta. So not everything that will be in the final game is there yet, but it's
okay. When we talk about a game, and this is why we have video also, and sorry for people who are listening, but we'll try to describe this to you if you don't have the video. To people also listening to NFT Morning in a podcast. Some of our episodes are also available on YouTube if you want to get more, and you will have the link to the video so you can have also a look on it. But so maybe Ben, you can explain a bit more. So show us what you can do with the game and the vehicles in Cosmic Royale.
Yeah, of course. So for the people who are listening and the others, we wanted, in fact, to take part into the games that propose, battle royals game, where you enter a kind of tournaments with many players at the start and only one winner at the end. And of course, you're all familiar with this kind of game since PUBG or Fortnite, of course, and Apex, etc., etc. And what we wanted to try is how our savoir-faire, our know-how about racing game could translate into this kind of game of service games, game as a services. And we had this idea by watching the different characters that you have, the different PFP collections, to create something that would be a mix of something like Fall Guys and karting games, and what it could be, what it could look like, what it could play like. And we had this idea of a kind of cosmic tournament, multiverse, multidimensional, that would in fact be the perfect lore to drag all together these different PFP collections, very different characters with different artistic styles, and bring them into a completely crazy karting races and traps and challenges. And this is what led to Cosmic Royale that you can see here. So this little fellow who's called Azimuth is a by default character that you can add in the beta and that all players will get once the game is launched. But of course, you have the possibility to have different characters. So for the moment in the beta, you have a talkie, and also other players can have a free mocha just for the sake of the beta. But one thing that is very important for PFP owners of compatible collection is that literally your PFP will come to life and become your pilot in the cards. So this is a very, very big utility given to your little pictures that literally comes to life in the game. And of course, for Web3 owners,
you've been like a 2D picture can become a character.
Yeah, this is what we've done at Eden. It was lots of work, but we create some technology and some efforts so that the different traits from your PFP, we have modelized them and we have created a game structure so that literally your PFP from 2D pictures becomes a pilot for your cards. Okay, and from that. The Web3 players will have the possibility also to mint their cards according to their PFP, to have a unique card as well. But it's important to say that the game is open to everyone, meaning you can join Cosmic Royale, even if you don't own any wallets, any PFP, any Mocha ID at the launch, it will be open to everyone. And this is something important because we wanted at Eden to create a game that could be played by anyone, but with some an enhancement or some utilities to for Web3 players who has some PFP compatible with the game. Okay.
Yeah. If I can just jump in quickly. Obviously, it's not magic. You can't just turn any 2D PFP into 3D. But the Eden Games team have worked incredibly hard, putting all of the traits, modeling all of the traits of the Mocha NFT collection. And further down the line, we obviously launched with Motorverse being part of the wider Motorverse, if you will. And in the future, the aim is to really have a number of different PFPs across Web3, all competing against each other, right? So that's something that we're doing behind the scenes. We're speaking to the communities, trying to get people involved, trying to get them interested, so that they can eventually use one of their hopefully their characters in the game as well.
Okay, sure. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, Ben. So yeah, we can see the customization of the character And I believe, can you do the same with vehicles?
So far for the beta, you just have this card, but at the launch you will have the possibility to play, to choose with, or to buy, or to earn other kind of cards.
I see.
Okay.
Okay. And so basically, my understanding is that
I
you
I
can.
have only one question, sorry. Just if you could tell us more about the PFP collection compatibles. Could you give us some names?
I think that's a bit of alpha. That's almost too much alpha for this morning. But
Okay,
I'd say
sorry.
so
Just one name,
Mochaverse.
maybe.
Mochaverse.
Okay.
Okay. Let
No,
me. Let me.
for example, just an example. I have a Mi Bit. Do you think my Mi Bit could one day drive the cart?
I mean, that's definitely the idea, right? That's the big picture. If you looked at if you see on the trailer, the very first trailer that we released, you can see a Bored Ape, you can see a Cool Cat, you can see Torque Squad, you can see a number of little Easter eggs hidden in there. So never say never.
Yes. Okay. So basically, you can anticipate some of them, like Bored Ape or Cool Cat, but you will see. Thank you for the alpha, Matt. Thank you. Now, okay, that's awesome. And okay, and so in terms of, I would say, the game, the game itself. Can you maybe show us quickly, have a sneak peek of the gaming experience, basically?
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to click on play, and we are going to join a playable lobby where we will be waiting for other players as the game is live. And the lobby is what we wanted to have, a playable lobby, so that players could, in fact, familiarize themselves with the controls and begin to see the different. So you can see, for example, a Mocha here, okay, and other by default characters. Here you have a Talkie, for example. And then we are waiting for players, and in a few seconds the game will start. And as Courtney said, in fact, we are going to play through rounds. We must be in the rank that qualifies you for the next round, and so on until the finally, when it's the last man standing in the finally, the winner royal. And as you are going to see, we are going to have some crazy experience, silly traps, lots of jumps, falls, bumps, and this kind of things.
Wow, looks exciting. How long is you say basically it's like 3 rounds. How long is a round in as an average?
In average, it's around 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30. Depends on the length of each track. Some tracks are shorter than the others, but some are more difficult as well. So even a short track, if it's difficult, you can have some hardships completing it. So here you can see everybody trying to reach the finish line as soon as possible. You have the possibility to jump, of course, to steer your cart, and also to charge a kind of shock wave to annoy the other, to get rid of the other when they're too close, for example, or to make them fall into the pit.
Okay, you can bump the other cars to make them fall, basically.
Yeah. So I'm charging my shock wave, and if I have the opportunity, I'm going to up. You see?
Okay,
You
yeah.
can bump them away. And of course, the more you progress in the different tracks, the more difficulty. Oh, too bad. Connection lost.
This is
the
it's
demo
happening.
effect,
It's happening. Of course, it's happening. Now, but I think that's nice because we saw also the experience and we understand how it is. I believe you have different maps or different races, right?
Yeah, for the beta we have 9 different tracks, including one finale, and this is only a glimpse of what we are going to release on the final game.
Okay, I see. I see. I believe also, that that there is sound inside of the game. Maybe because of the sharing of the screen, we cannot hear it, right? But on your side, you have some music, some sound effects, right?
Yeah, yes, we have music and sound effects. I don't know why we can have the sound right there.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's just a streaming effect. That's fine. That's
Uh,
fine.
okay.
That's fine. But that's okay. I think yeah, that's super exciting and super interesting to see it right now and to see how it looks super smooth in terms of UX. I think you can. You mentioned that the game is available. It's a PC game right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we aim to have it on the
Is
Epic
it web?
Store.
Is it web only, or it's also you can, or it's a downloadable game?
No, 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 it's not web. You have to do. We aim to be on the Epic Store. So basically, it will be like any other game that you can find on the Epic Game Store.
Okay, so it's a software that you download. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, via a launcher. And
Okay.
for the moment, it's PC. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And with your experience, could we expect to have this game tomorrow on, like, yeah, I don't know, a Switch or PlayStation, something like this?
It's definitely a possibility. Technically, we've done many games on different platforms, so it's possible. I think it's a question of the success of the game, of course, and also how to to enable all the Web3 features on these consoles.
Yeah, yeah, it will be pretty innovative, of course. But yeah, technically, I believe, yeah, it's the game is what is you are using your own engine, or you are using like a Unity or Unreal Engine to develop this kind of games?
In fact, both, because the base is Unity, but we have been developing our technology on Unity since so long that we have our own technology and physics engines on Unity that enables us to deliver, in fact, racing experience, whether they are realistic or like this one, cartoonish or arcadish, on many platforms. As Sully said, we were able to develop games for the Switch, for the Apple range of products, for PC, for mobiles, etc., etc.
Based on the same engine, on the same
Yeah, same technology. Yeah,
technology based on Unity, right?
yeah,
Okay, for people who cannot see, just to explain, but it's basically, you have a kind of, it's a racing car game. I would say more like a Mario Kart slash a Crash Bandicoot style. I mean, more like a fun race where you need to avoid different obstacles,
yeah.
and you can have like, yeah, you have a lot of traps on the way that you need to avoid, basically. And also you can, as mentioned, you can also, by then, yeah, you can basically reload a kind of a power load, to bump your competitors. So,
Basically, for our listeners, just imagine Fall Guys, but if the guys could enter a cart, in fact, could pilot a cart, and you had a pretty good picture of what the game's looking like so far.
makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, I see the reference. So yeah, now it looks. What is impressive from what I see. Yeah, of course, you are an experienced studio, but of course, in terms of yeah, it's super fluid. Now I can see actually that the level has been done. There are 32 qualified vehicles. So you are part of the 32, right? At this
Yeah,
level.
I managed to qualify, so round 2 is up with
Okay.
32 players remaining, and this time we're going to discover how many will be qualified. So the basic game mode is to reach the finish line as soon as possible, but at launch we will have other game modes.
Okay, but so far this one,
Yeah, yeah.
and so basically it's something like at each round you are selecting, qualifying maybe half of the crowd or something
Yeah.
like this.
That's it. So for this round, we were 32 on the start line, and only 24 of us will be qualified. So
Okay.
you need to reach the finish line in the 21st first to ensure your qualification for next round.
Okay, fine. So yeah, and then I can imagine, for example, for the last round, Then the last round is the last round, so you need to finish.
Yeah, this is a finally, and only one
one winner.
player will be the great finally.
Yeah, you have the final ranking
Yeah.
that is happening during the third round, and so you can see if you are top one or top whatever, depending on your ranking. Okay,
Exactly.
makes sense. Wow, it's okay. You need to practice a bit, I believe, to be good in this game, because there are a lot of obstacles to avoid, right?
Yeah, we wanted two things that might seem a bit of different or paradoxal. We wanted the controls to be super clear, super easy to understand, but we are putting so many traps and silly bumps that the challenge, in fact, is the tracks themselves and not the controls.
Okay.
And of course, as you can see on the screen, you have other players that will annoy you, that will bump you, that will prevent you from jumping or whatever. So
yeah.
This is a kind of controlled mess, controlled chaos.
Yeah, I see. Because you cannot, whatever happen, it's really hard to do the perfect race. Whatever you do, you will have moment where you are you are falling into something, or where an obstacle is blocking you. Wow, you are part of the 24 qualified. I can see it.
Yes.
Hey. Okay.
Slippery way now. So every round begins with what we call a flyover track, which is a little presentation of the track to, in fact, tease the kind of difficulties and traps you're going to face.
I see.
And it's also to prepare and, of course, to ensure that all the players are ready on the online side of things.
I'm pretty impressed, because on the first race we had something like maybe like 50-ish players, in the same time. I don't know if Courtney or you have an idea, but how many? It means that you need to have a lot of people playing. To at any time you want to play, having 50-ish people available. You have some figures about how many people are playing the game, of, I don't know, like your daily active users or something like this.
We did have a large growth because we released it to everyone yesterday. I think we doubled our numbers for our daily users, but because it only came out yesterday, I don't have the details for this open beta. I don't know if...
In fact, we're just monitoring since yesterday, so it's too early so far to comment, and we need to gather all the figures. But basically, we are quite happy because since we have opened to all Mocha IDs owners, the lobbies are full, with enough people to ensure good challenges and good games.
And so far, how many iteration? How many competition are happening in the same time right now, for example?
Difficult to say, but several dozen of lobbies at the same time, I would say.
Dozen of lobbies. So we can expect right now to have maybe 300 to 500-ish people playing. I just doing my.
That would be correct. Yes, the maximum people that can play in the same session is 40. So once a lobby has reached 40 human players, the lobby starts. In fact, the game starts. Okay. And otherwise, the game waits a bit so that more players can enter, and then we launch the game filling with AIs.
I see. And it was not the final round. I can see now.
No, not yet.
And hey, now it's the next one is so you are qualified. In the same time for people who are not seeing.
Yes,
we're following also.
That's
we're following
3,
Ben playing, and so he's been part of the top 20, and now is in the level called Indecisive Gravity. And is it the final round or not?
Not yet.
How many rounds you have?
Depends on the number of human players, but you might have from 3 to 5 rounds in each tournament.
Okay. But when it is the final round, you know that, right?
Yeah.
It's mentioned to you that it's the final one.
It should be just after this one, because you see that only 12 of us will be qualified.
Wow, this one is pretty decisive.
Yeah.
I'm stressed for you then now.
As the game is taking place in space, we wanted to play a lot with the different space things. For example, on the previous level, you could see that I was driving on a cylinder defying the gravity. And in this round, you have, which is called undecisive gravity, you have different zones with low or heavy gravity, preventing you, for example, here, I cannot jump because the gravity is too high.
No
So I
way.
have
This
to
is
deal with the
sick.
traps.
Wow, I love that. So, and we could see just before you had kind of more like a
And
lunar
now,
quality.
yes,
Yeah, when
in
you
the yellow
jump, you are
zone, you can do some kind of
almost
tricks.
flying when you jump, and so
Yeah,
you can go from platform to, for people who don't see it again, it's more like, yeah, it's a bit like this level is very platform based, I would say. You are really
yeah,
jumping from
exactly.
platform to platform, and until and so are you qualified?
I'm qualified for the final, yeah.
Hey, congrats! So part of the top 12.
Once you qualify, you get to watch the other players who are struggling to get through the barriers.
Yeah,
You're not just sitting around doing nothing. You can sort of see if you can find your friends who are also playing with you. And
I see. No,
It's
yeah,
always a pleasure to see other players having difficulties where you had difficulties.
yeah. 10 qualified. So okay, now we'll go to the final,
Yeah,
and so
only
yeah,
10 qualified to the final.
as we're talking about the game in the same time, I just wanted to talk. Well, now we can see, and in terms of audience, main of the audience right now, I would say, is Web3. According to you, do you have any data about it?
considering the game is only open for Web3 players, well, people who are aware of the Web3
Yeah,
right now, pretty much everyone who's playing, I would say, is probably a Web3.
yeah, it's Animoca community, more or less, I would
Yeah.
say. I would say.
It will be free to play once it launches for everyone, no matter who. And so will definitely be available to the general public as well, people who don't really know what the Web3 is. And it'll be
Okay.
a way for them to maybe start understanding how it works. We try to make it a bit more digestible, a little bit more simple for people who really don't know anything about this world. And we hope we manage to do that, and we'll see later on when the game launches if we manage to do that.
Okay, and Courtney, just you mentioned, what is the condition right now to play? You need to own
You need to own a Mocha ID.
Mocha. Okay, Mocha ID access. Okay,
Yes.
and for people who don't have a Mocha ID, is it too late to have one? What is the best way?
No, it's very easy to get one as well. I know that on their Discord server, there are tons of people ready to give away their referral codes, but I think there's one on Motorverse as well, maybe. We don't have one on our server, but there's one on Motorverse server if you want to get a Mock ID referral code. And then it's as simple as going to their website and signing up for one.
Rem,
Exactly.
Rem, it's time to create your Mocha ID.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. And I have some question, but sorry. First of all, I just to tell you congratulations, guys, because really it's I think the first Web3 games I can imagine playing by myself.
So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be waiting for you.
that's nice. And just to interrupt you,
just after the space, and so previously my question is, previously you said so the game is open to everyone, even a player who don't have any wallet or any
no.
PFP NFT.
So far you need a Mocha ID to play.
For
Okay.
the beta, yes. For the
It will
beta.
be.
So far, yeah, for the current beta, and when the game will be released publicly, then it will be open to anyone.
Okay, and my first question is to understand how could you encourage players who don't have any NFT to play with one?
Good question.
Yeah, I can probably take
Do
that
you think
one.
it would be necessary in the future?
Yes and no. I think it's necessary for us to have a balance of both. If we look at, let's just have a look at the game as it is right now, right? We have free-to-play players with Mocha IDs. Mocha IDs are all free to mint. So there are, I think there's over 1 million Mocha IDs that have been minted. And so there will be a large number of players coming in from the Mocha ID side. that don't have a Mochaverse NFT, right? So they'll be playing free to play. And then on the other side, you have people who do own their Mocha NFTs and want to be playing as themselves, and do have that ability of what we like to always mention about true digital ownership, right? But if we look at what Mochaverse are actually doing now, especially with the activation with Cosmic Royale, they have this new thing called the Cosmic Club, which is basically a social gamified social gaming hub, where when you play the games, when you play Cosmic Royale, people are able to earn realm points, and realm points in some fancy equation leads to Mocha tokens. So in terms of what you're saying about incentives and why people want to play regardless of whether or not they have an NFT, right now there is a play to airdrop mechanism where people are able to compete in daily, weekly tournaments, where people can join, and ultimately earn some Mocha tokens.
And without
And
spoiling too
yeah,
much about the
sorry.
game, the future game, um, it's very important that we emphasize the fact that we won't have pay to win in the game. In fact, in the great tradition of free to play games, where you have free players and paying players, okay? In the game, paying players can be NFT owners that want to invest on their NFTs. And basically, as this is a game on which we will basically have a lot of customization on your characters, on your cards, and whatever, and you will earn a lot of crazy things to decorate your cards or your pilots. The thing is that PFP and NFT owners will progress faster in unlocking the different customization, but at no point in the game they will be faster, they will jump higher, they will have to compete with all the other players on the same way in a very fair competition. But if you are a PFP or NFT owners and you decide to invest in your cards, we will have some cards leveling further in the game, then you will progress faster, but in any way you will have some unfair advantages. I think it's very important to underline that.
And if you own Animoca NFTs, you have extra benefits.
But the first of these benefits is that you have a unique character and a unique card. And in a game where customization is king, it's a ultimate advantage, okay? And also the different qualities of cards that you have, from basic to NFT, etc. As I said, will give you not advantages in the game, in the competition, but will give you advantages to unlock, to progress faster and to unlock faster new customization and new seasonal content. Okay, so this is fair for all the players. It was at the heart of our game design to allow this bridge between Web 2 and Web 3 players, because all of them are players, all of them can be players. Some of them have NFTs, some of them don't have NFTs, but the most important thing is that they can play all together, maybe at different rhythm and different pace, but they can play all together at the same core gameplay loop and progress at different rates according to how they want to invest in the game.
That's super interesting. And we haven't mentioned, but congrats, Ben. What is your final ranking?
Oh, I lost in the final, and maybe there were 2 or 3 remaining. It was only a matter of seconds. But now that we have opened, of course, I know the game very well, as you can imagine, with all the team we have played lots and lots of games. But now that we have opened to other players, now we're facing challengers and competitors, and it's not that easy as a few days ago.
Yeah, it's becoming harder, of course. That's super nice. So yesterday,
Can
July,
uh,
July. Huh?
sorry, I have my ultimate question. Sorry, we know the importance of community in Web3. Um, how we could create a community of players with this game, with the Web3 mechanism.
I think it's all about shared network effects, right? And that's exactly what we're trying to do in terms of how we look at kind of interoperability within this game. The fact that we want to put Bored Apes and Pudgies and Cool Cats and Mochaverse, and on all the PFP, all sort of the top PFP collections in the game, is not just because we want it to look pretty and we want people to be able to, that the utility side is obvious, right? But I think ultimately is this shared network effect that you have when you bring in the communities like the apes, like the like the pudgies and stuff, right? Each community has a very distinct sort of network of people, and there's different sort of profiles of people that are in these communities. But there are a lot of gamers that are spread across these different communities, and some choose to represent themselves as an Azuki or whatever, right? So I think by having all these communities together, they can sort of be able to represent themselves in a way where they're like, I'm the fastest Bored Ape, or I'm the fastest Pudgy, and be able to represent your tribe in that way, right? So I think it's very cool what the games team are doing with that, and it really is to build that shared network.
Awesome. And could we expect, because this is what you mentioned with the Motorverse concept, what the main, I would say, as a Animoca manager, the main link between games right now is the Mocaverse, like the Mocaverse PFP and Mocaverse ID.
Right now, yes, because they're our launch partner essentially, for this Cosmic Club, which I mentioned is their social gaming hub, and but we will open up fairly soon. I don't want to kind of give away any dates. I don't know if Courtney or Ben have a date for when we're going to be launching fully, but for the beta, Mocha is our launch partner.
I see. But I believe your main objective, especially as Motorverse, is to have vehicles maybe going from one game to the other. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean exactly. You've hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly the idea of the wider Motorverse, right? Is to have, and I think when we look at interoperability, especially when you think of something where it's like, okay, you're gonna take a sword from Zelda and take it into Call of Duty, that doesn't always line up, right? This kind of Ready Player Me vision that we all have doesn't necessarily fit across all of games, but it does in the Motorverse, right? Because we are somewhat grounded in reality. We've got wheels, we've got engines, we've got whatever, so we're able to take vehicles that you might purchase in one of our other games like Torque Drift or whatever, and be able to take that across into Rev Racing, which is an arcade racing sim. Or you come into Cosmic Royale and maybe the cart looks, or the vehicle looks slightly different. It's a bit more squashed, it's a bit more cartoony, but ultimately you should be able to to have your asset and be able to use it across all the different games.
I see. Okay, totally makes sense. And so you of course I understand you don't want to communicate about the public release date, but what is more or less your objective? Is like a quarter, a year, a decade?
The objective for the moment is end of 2024.
End of
For the
2024. Oh, okay, so yeah, in 6 months basically from now we could expect. So let's say that if we are late, it could be later in 2025 basically.
Yeah.
But this is not a long, okay, it's pretty short term. Yeah, but we
I
can see
think Ben is shaking right now. Is you hearing the dates?
I just can't wait.
yeah. I love when sometimes you announce public release live during the NFT morning, people say yeah we do it at this moment, and then the devs and game designers think, oh, it was not the plan.
We get chatted at afterwards saying, no, you shouldn't have said that.
Nah, that's super cool. No, okay, that's super exciting, interesting. I will try to figure out to find a way to get an Animoca ID to play, but really, it's really exciting, and I believe, I think it's people can start to represent, the future of gaming with Web3, with what you guys are doing. So that's super, super interesting, and so yeah, just invite you, to follow Cosmic Royale on Twitter, or just to go on the website cosmicroyale.io, and then you can discover more and start to play, or maybe to request. Can we request an access to the beta or something?
You don't need to request an access.
Okay, fine. But
you just need a Mocha ID, and actually, I've got some referral codes if you guys want them.
Yeah, we want some referral code. This is what I was trying to push. That's nice. Awesome. So we have some referral codes. What we're gonna do, we'll make it simple. share after the morning a small draw, if it's okay, within all the people who are owning the NFT Morning Po app to get some Mochaverse referral codes. We'll communicate about it just after.
Sounds good.
Awesome, awesome. So, Soli, Courtney, Ben, actually, I can see more people who joined also from Motorverse. How many people are working on the Motorverse right now?
In terms of full-time employees on the Mochaverse internal side, on the Animoca side, I think there's maybe 12 to 14.
Okay.
But then we obviously have 3 games teams. I mean, how many? You guys have what, 40, 60 at Eden? More?
Wow.
80?
On Cosmic Royale itself, I think there's about 40, 50 people. I'm not entirely sure. It kind of fluctuates depending on the needs.
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
There's
wow.
a lot of people. So I can see also in the background Ilya and Jason. So say hi to you also. So thank you very much, for being with us this morning in this shiny summer. Everybody, I recommend you to try the game, and of course also to touch grass, because it's gonna be the weekend. Actually, we decided with Remy that we will meet again one last time next Tuesday for news of the week and final episode of the year. So Rem is almost ready. So thank you, Ben, thank you, Matt, thank you,
Our
Courtney.
pleasure.
I
Thank
wish
you,
you
guys.
all the best and good morning.
Hey.
Happy